Good morning, it's 8:30 a.m. There are a few videos that have come out in the last 48 hours. I would think there'd be more because everybody's on the test server right now, but they're not really showing the new champions. And when they do show the new champions, they're not really showing them do content. We'll go over those. There's been a few more videos about the Hydra boss, just repeats of a lot of things that we've already seen. Trunda doing a massive amount of damage with her A2. Geomancer doing tons of damage in the lead position, making sure he gets a burn up on all the Hydra heads. It's pretty insane that the same champions keep popping up for new content and old content. Just all content, I guess. The same old champion. So if you have Geomancer, he's like a beast everywhere in the game. There's 800 champions in this game, but I feel like if you have a Seer and just a few other select ones, you're set. There are quite a few videos about our Fragment Fusion that we're going to go over to see whether he can do damage and how well he does with those heals. Getting those regens up and getting our turn meter to our allies is actually what I mean. These videos right here from Murder I do have pulled up, but they're meme videos. They're not actual, they're content, but not actually having champions that are on the test server go through content. We've got Hell Hades talking about the Scarab King and Skull Lord. This is no surprise. The Skull Lord can now drop the boss's max HP. Once we do that on the Scarab King, we can beat it much easier. You put him in a regen set, immortal set, and he's good to go. But you could do this with Euros, you could do this with Vergus. We can honestly, by now, take an Apothecary in with Blood Shield accessories, good resistance, along with a Destroy set. So we're doing the reverse of what we're doing here. Here we're putting gear to make sure he can stay alive and heal him. And we've done this with so many champions. I mean, almost any champion now, you can do this with Blood Shield accessories, regen sets, put a toxic set on them if they can stay alive themselves, and put up poisons on the Scarab King or take down its max HP. There's just so many ways to beat the Scarab King. Now, Skull Lord still, to me, isn't somebody that you need to, because I didn't pull this video over, so I'm talking about it now, isn't somebody that you really need to put resources into. I would not, especially to do the Scarab King when there are so many other options to do that with. Again, another Murder video here with the epics. It's a meme video. I've got it pulled up, but he's not running through anything. He's just talking about their skills for a really long time, which I kind of skipped through, but we'll see toward the end there what he actually runs through. We've got more of Scratch using the All-Father. What's his name? Clan Father here. We're going to see what he does. He plays him through to see what kind of regen and turn meter we can get for our team, because with regens, whenever our allies take that regen, they get a 5% turn meter increase per regen up that they've been healed by. So it can be a lot of turn meter, and then he's testing to see whether he can do damage. He does the turn meter first, and then he puts a lot of gear on to see whether this guy can hit really hard, and we'll know the multipliers for this champion later today. Once it comes off the test server and it's on the main server, we'll know the actual multipliers and we can compare him to then Magnar, and we'll be able to see with the multipliers of both of those what the actual damage is. It's decent damage. I mean, he's an HP bruiser. That means he's going to stay alive and slowly do a lot of damage, and then he can heal along with giving that turn meter increase for the regens on. So I think a solid champion. There's a lot of people that are giving him a bad rap and won't be picking him up if they're really in-game players. And I understand if you're in-game players, we haven't needed hardly any of the fusions. Again, we're using Geomancer and Trunda still to do mass damage on the Hydra boss. So we're using the same champions we've used before that we've leveled up before. That's good for a lot of people out there because you don't have to go find new champions to level up. But it's kind of sad because I want to see a good variety of all of our 800 champions used. And when we have new champions in, I don't want to see meme videos of all these new champions by just one content creator. I want to see these champions played. Get these videos out there. I bet there'll be more videos today or tomorrow from all the content creators. Got Scratch here again with the video. I've got this pulled up. This one is the Geomancer, I believe, or this one is the Trunda one. I've got it pulled up. We'll look at that in just a second. There wasn't a lot. We've got Cold Brew pulled up going through here with the new Fragment Fusion. That's all. That's all I've seen so far. We'll start off with the Hydra boss inception of Stu watching Scratch watching Boomer. And it's with Trunda doing her A2 once all the heads are down at the same time. And Trunda just does a crazy amount of damage. When there's not a lot of defense, just max HP that we can cut through, that A2 is pretty broken. Trunda, same gear that we use in Arena. You don't have to switch her up. And you can see on the team, he's got a supporting cast to increase the damage and reset with Prince Kymar. And if you have reset accessories for Prince Kymar and the same thing for Trunda, it'll really help you out here. That way, when the heads are all down, you can just do this damage. Look at that damage, 26 million. That's really insane. So Scratch does the same exact thing down over here. He talked about not changing any of the gear here. He just threw these champions in. And if he had a reset up on his Prince Kymar, which he doesn't right now, he could do it again. Or if he had a reset accessory proc on his Trunda, he could, of course, do this again and get the damage. Look at the damage. It's a lot of damage. We're talking almost 20 million. Then if he could reset, we'd get almost 20 million again. That's pretty bonkers for a champion that we already use everywhere in the game. Geomancer is amazing. He's been doing top damage in so many bosses in the Doom Tower as well as the clan boss. And then now again, he's coming in here for the Hydra boss in lead position along with your Inquisitor, making sure he gets turn meter increase and getting a burn up on all the heads. Once you have a burn up on all the heads, you have to have that burn applied by Geomancer to do his damage, to do his passive damage. And it's pretty nutty. It's really insane, but you do need support. You need to be able to stay alive. So he's got a Krisk in here. He's got a Siphi. As far as the other champions go, like a Husk and a Lydia, not that big of a deal for a lot of us at in-game. There are alternate champions we can use besides a Krisk, besides a Siphi, and still get a crazy amount of damage with your Geomancer. So if you want to watch this video, go check it out. Let's go over test server footage with Murder Inc. before we get into the test server footage for the new Fragment Fusion. Now, he talks about jaw-dropping legendary champions here for about 12 minutes. And then at the 12-minute mark, he just runs them through 12-6 or 12-3 Nightmare campaign, I guess. So I'm guessing this is just a complete talking about the champions, their abilities, what they're good for, what they're not good for, and then really showing us nothing of what they're doing. It could be a meme video because immediately after that, he uploads 2 great epics released out of the epics we have. And then again, it's just talking about the epics and then running them through. This was definitely meme footage of running through Fire Knight with one of these guys because of what happened there. I did watch a minute of that. And then now he's running another one in an insane team with Dragon. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it was, again, just saying that these champions aren't the best and then throwing them in here for fun with something. Let's get over to Scratch and Cold Brew and see what they're talking about with this Fragment Fusion. Again, the Fragment Fusion is, I think, a good Fragment Fusion to do. They're usually pretty easy to complete. So I would do it. I don't think it's a big time sink. These are really easy to do. You just go in there and farm the normal stuff that you would do every day anyways. So get the legendary. Why not? You don't know what kind of combinations can come out later on. That's the biggest thing, is you never know what other champions could be released, like Wither. They could be insane to pair with him, and then some new content comes out, which I don't know if they're really pushing to do any kind of real big PvE new content this year, since it's supposed to be the year of balancing in PvP, but we'll see. They could come out with something else that we really need to use him in, and then you'll be sad you missed it when it's so easy to get him. So this first one with Scratch goes through, he just wants to see the turn meter increase. He's got regions up. He wants to see the damage as well, and he sees the damage, and he's like, hey, that damage looks pretty good. Let me gear him out in a good set and see what happens. So this is the set he puts on him. He's got a Savage set along with Speed, and then we go over here to do some hits. Now, the multipliers for this will be out later today. This is not huge. It's nowhere near Magnar. I mean, Magnar would do something like this twice, maybe even a little bit more twice, but he's bringing all those heals. Healed for 11,500. It's pretty good to have that kind of a damage along with a mass amount of heal and the regions as well that he's going to do. So I think it's a solid champion. We had Cold Brew do the same thing. That's what's been happening the last 48 hours. Let me know if you've seen any other videos that I missed out there that have some unique perspective on things that have been going on in the world of Raid Shadow Legends. I feel like we're just churning out the same stuff over and over again and the same champions over and over again, which again is not a bad thing. If you have these champions, at least you don't have to worry about going out and booking out some other ones, although I think that's the fun part of games like this. I like to see a good variety used, though. And there's no other champion that's like Geomancer. There's no other champion that hits like Trunda. There's no other champion that does everything that Krisk does. Even a smaller version of Geomancer, there's just not one out there. So we have to... There's no weaker, smaller version of Seer either. So it's like Seer or bust, you know? You don't really have any other choices, and Inquisitor is the only one that can do what Inquisitor does for our lead position here to get them the turn meter increase. Thank you all for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all in a video soon.